Belçika'nın Rusya'nın Dondurulmuş Varlıkları Hakkındaki Tutumu. Hazır, İstekli ve Yapabilecekleri.
If you take the cash and you give it to the Ukraine, the cash is gone. It's not there anymore. So somebody needs to guarantee the moment it goes wrong, then in a very short amount of time, 140, 160, it depends on how much you use. The money that you've used, let's say 140, that's the figure I've been reading, 140, that you need to put 140 billion euros on the table immediately. And these guarantees have to be not vague, but concrete, because of course the markets are watching. And if they see, you take out of Euroclear 140 billion, you start doing things with that, but you do not have a backstop for that in cash. There's no solution for your guarantee. There's no real solution. Then there will be a market reaction. Then you will undermine the trust in Euroclear as a financial institution. The Euroclear holds trillions of euros in reserve. If there is a breach in the trust in the financial system, there will be very heavy consequences for our financial system and even for the Eurozone. So that guarantee has to be very, very solid. And that is, of course, a big question. Who's going to give that guarantee? Is it the member states? It's a question. I asked my colleagues, is it you? Is it the member states? Because the European Commission can make an ordinance saying we will take the money, but the European Commission cannot obligate a member state to sign a guarantee. That's a sovereign competence, which means that everybody has to put a signature on a paper saying I'm responsible for X% of that operation, and the moment it goes wrong, I will immediately pay the amount of cash if it's needed. I asked my colleagues who is ready, willing and able to sign that. Because you take the money from my country, it goes wrong. I am not able, certainly not willing, but even not able to, in a week's time, pay 140 billion euros out of Belgium's rich and full pockets. We're not able to do so, so I would imagine that everybody who's really for this decision, really wants to make it happen, also is ready, willing and able to sign the guarantee so that I can sleep quietly at night, knowing that if it goes wrong, if it goes sour, that the solidarity will make that the money is actually there. This question was not answered with a tsunami of enthusiasm around the table. I think maybe colleagues are reflecting on this now and know that certainly after Christine Lagarde confirmed that this is the case, the guarantees have to be there, they have to be concrete, they have to be immediate. So they heard it from Christine Lagarde, so I guess they all went home reflecting on this, saying, if we move forward on the Russian money, I actually morally am obligated to go before my parliament and say, if this goes wrong, we also have a problem, and I had to put my signature on a document for these guarantees. If it's not from the member states that this guarantee will come, it is for me a question mark from where else it could come. I have no answer to this question, and I did not receive an answer to this question, although it's an important one. That's the second problem, the guarantees. Then there is a third problem that Christine Lagarde put on the table, that I also asked questions about, but nobody elaborated on it, but she spontaneously talked about it. That is, of course, the risk for the Eurozone. And her strong recommendation is that if you do an operation like that and you want the world to perceive it as a legitimate operation, that it would be good if you do not do it alone. And that is what I asked my colleagues also. I say, I understand why you're looking at Belgium, because we have the biggest chicken of the immobilized assets. The fattest chicken is in Belgium, but there are other chickens around. In the Eurozone, there are other countries with immobilized assets. There are 6. None of them have ever given any transparency on how much money they have. no transparency on the windfall profits of that money, no transparency on the tax income of that money. Actually, Euroclear is the only financial institution in the world that is implicated in the solidarity for Ukraine. There is at least as much money in the rest of the world. Trump says 300 billion. This means that half of it is in Euroclear and the other half is the world round. But nobody ever talks about this. Nobody ever volunteered to say, I also, Japan, 50 billion, I also have windfall profits, I also have tax money, I could offer that money to Ukraine. We're the only ones doing it. So you can imagine for me that it is a bit sour that we are finger-pointed now as the unwilling country. Politico said that I'm a bad boy. A bad boy, me? How can you imagine that? Everybody confirmed that I'm a good boy. It was like I was assisting my own funeral. They all said, no, you're a good boy. It's like your funeral, everybody comes and say that you're very nice. I'm not a bad boy. We're the best boy in town. We're the best boy in town. If you talk about immobilized assets, we are the very, very best. And Lagarde said, if you move, then you have to move together, and preferably with a non-euro country. Okay, this also is a problem. If you want to create a perception that you're doing something that's legal, and if you want to avoid very negative attention for the Eurozone, then maybe those who have reserves in pound sterling, in Japanese yen, or in Canadian dollars, or in Norwegian money, or in Swiss francs, could volunteer to say, we'll help you. We are also, every day we say that we stand with Ukraine, so now we're going to put our money literally, or Putin's money literally where our mouth is, and we're going to move together with you to make this operation a success. So these are three issues. It took us a long time to discuss them. We discussed about this for hours. And then afterwards at the dinner we discussed it with Christine Lagarde, who gave her expert opinion, who and also indicated that these problems that we put on the table are actually real. They're real. They're not imagined. They're not a question of not being willing or being reluctant. It's because they are real and they have to be solved. And the conclusion of the Council at the end of the day, if you look at the draft, you will see that it is short, and that it only says that there is a problem with the financing of Ukraine. This is true. Everybody thinks that this should be solved. 26 of the 27 want to solve the financial problem of Ukraine. I also. I'm ready, willing and able to do whatever it takes to help the Ukrainian ally. Let there be no doubt about this. And that the Commission has to work on proposals, plural, for solutions, of proposals, plural, for a solution, single, to get this done. And the drafting also states the obvious, that the immobilized assets will stay immobilized until the end of the war, which was always, of course, the philosophy of the immobilized assets, so that's a no-brainer. But for the rest, it is a question mark. So I guess in this problem will return to the table, because time is running out. I think before the end of the year we need a solution to keep Ukraine in the war and to take care of their financial problems. I'm ready, willing and able to do so, and so I'm ready, willing and able to engage, as we are a particular member state, holding Euroclear, we are a particular member state, so I'm ready to engage with the Commission and other people who might want to talk to me about it, to say, are there solutions for the problems that we put on the table? So, to summarize, can we make it legal? And what are the risks and the countermeasures that we face? The legality and the countermeasures of Putin. Can we convince another country outside of the Eurozone, in the Eurozone, maybe the six, and can these six convince another countries to move along with us? And third problem, and I think the biggest problem, how do you guarantee that the cash is there immediately when it goes wrong? If we find solutions for these three problems, then maybe we can go ahead. If not, maybe another option can be put on the table to get the financing of Ukraine on the road. that's about it. I see